Last question. In your opinion, how strictly should writers stick to the writing rules? Touched on one of my favorite things, and that is talking about writing rules, which I do not believe in. If you have ever been in any of my courses, whether it's Before You Hit Send, my writing and editing course, or my courses on pacing or deep point of view, or any other courses that I have held about writing, or anytime I've talked about writing, you will hear me say, there is no such thing as writing rules. You writing rules are have been created by people with good intentions who want to help new writers build their writing craft. But writing rules can be very detrimental to a writer's voice. They can homogenize a voice. They cannot account for differences in background and different ways of writing. So I don't believe in writing rules. I think that they are good suggestions, and there's, like grains of good things in writing rules that you can take away. But at the end of the day, you should never rigorously or strictly apply writing rules to your writing, because you run the risk of stripping the voice out of your piece of work. And often writing rules default to very subjective but easily implemented things, because it bypasses the idea of the harder to look at writing things such as plot and pacing and characterization and all of those things that are not, um, they're a little bit more nebulous. They're harder to put your finger on and harder to explain how to do and harder to learn how to do. And so people tend to focus on the writing rules, which often focus on the line editing and grammar portion of things, rather than diving into story development and plot development. So the writing rules can be helpful, but they shouldn't be strictly applied. If they don't apply to your voice, that's okay. Don't get too deep into applying every writing rule to your manuscript. And do make sure that you're not using writing rules in place of looking at those bigger picture issues like story, characterization, plot, relationship development, world building, and all of those difficult things to build out. Okay, those are the questions today. I answered 4 because one was a little bit more time sensitive, and I wanted to make sure that I got to it. We will be having the next 3 at 3 in 2 weeks, so make sure you get your questions in, and we will be starting Candid Cold Read soon on 3 at 3 as soon as we can get our agreements in place, because we want to make sure that we are protecting your intellectual property and being respectful of it. So if you have any questions, do email us. It's at support@angelajames.co. You can also look on my website. I do have a chat area there if you want to ask questions via that. And if we're not online, then it goes to our email. And I look forward to your questions for the next 3 at 3 in 2 weeks. In the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your January, and I will see you next time.